Things Said When He Was Gone by Blanche Taylor Dickinson. My branch of thoughts is frail tonight, as one lone wind-whipped weed. Little I care if a raindrop laughs or cries. I cannot heed such trifles now as a twinkling star, or catch a nightbird's tune. My whole life is you, tonight, and you, a cool, distant moon, with a few soft words to nurture my heart, and brighter beams following love's cool shower. Who knows but this frail, wind-whipped weed might bear you a gorgeous flower. About this poem. Things Said When He Was Gone by Blanche Taylor Dickinson appears in the anthology Ebony and Topaz, a Collectia, published in 1927, edited by Charles S. Johnson. In her 1977 essay, Rewriting Afro-American Literature, A Case for Black Women Writers, poet and educator Akasha Gloria T. Hull wrote in the section titled Tracing a Black Female Literary Tradition. Women writers are generally isolated from each other as well as from the mainstream. Very few mentor relationships exist between older and younger writers. Notable exceptions are the Harlem Renaissance, Georgia Douglas Johnson Circle, and the present group of New York City-based writers. However, there does exist a tradition of support in which Black women writers give each other the precedent and the courage to write, and to write about their Black female experience. A minor poet in Caroline Dusk, Blanche Taylor Dickinson numbered among her favorite poets Edna St. Vincent Millay and Georgia Douglas Johnson, because Johnson, especially, had written before her about personal issues of Black womanhood, such as physical appearance. She could write a poem like Revelation, which tells the story of a girl dazzled by store window displays who bought a dress, waved her soft black hair, and applied cosmetics to make herself neat and fair.
So I was going back through our Working Man's Dead box interview. I keep coming back to Altamont and the significance of that event and New Speedway Boogie, and it just gave me a reason to swirl back and create a little coda, a little extra closing piece about this album, to see the texture of the times, and times are always changing, and we were entered a particularly dark place. So here's the coda.
My name is Ryan.
I'm Chris.
I kind of forget about this one sometimes,
Yeah.
but then I come back to it. I'm like, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. But I zoned in on the Altamont, our friend who does Chris, who does a Revolutions per movie
Oh, yeah.
thing. He had
Great podcast.
a great show where they talk about Gimme Shelter, and just the tension that's in that moment. That's why it's always a great movie to watch as a precursor to listen to this album
Good companion,
to, because they, that's what everybody was up against, and that they found this music with one song that's an answer.
Yeah. Without saying
Altamont
in the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without saying, but it's an answer about here's the spirit of how we can address this.
Right.
And if we don't have the political answer or the sociological answer, we do have one answer, and it's about music.
Yeah.
And we're going to do what we know how to do.
If you please don't break up the chain, this train
take this end of the era and whatnot. And what's unique in that song is they're talking actually about Gleason, Ralph Gleason, the writer, who was, tearing down, who'd set this up and who's to blame and such and such. The town, who's responsible for the murder? Ralph J. Gleason, December 17th, 1969. Why Saturday's episode? I suspect it is because just as their parents 25 years ago thought America was full of Comanches scalping stagecoach riders and Capone gangsters shooting passersby on Chicago streets, Jagger and Cutler think San Francisco is the Hells Angels and the pranksters, since these are the ones who went to London last year and first broached the idea of the Stones playing free here. Now it has ended in murder. And that was a murder, not just a death like a drowning or the hit and run victims. Somebody stabbed that man 5 times on the back. Overkill, like Pinkville, like a Chicago cop's reaction to long hair. Is this the new community? Is this what Woodstock promised? Gathered together as a tribe? What happened? Brutality, murder, despoliation, you name it. And it's sort of a response to him is that, this is not your rap. If you don't have a solution for this, then just stating that it's a problem isn't helping anybody.
Please don't dominate the rap jack if you got nothing new to say. Yeah.
And it's perfect.
It is.
Because it's timely, it's of the moment, but that song ends with, one way or the other, this darkness has got to end.
Yeah.
So they're not saying that they have the solution, but they're saying it's not in with the suits. That's not the way that's going to work. So it's a very self-aware music and philosophical. And I think that's why these songs have survived to be, played, is that they hit on, in some ways, some of their true self. They were going to go on to other kinds of music.
Right.
They never had, after this and American Beauty almost recorded in very similar time.
And whenever you think of one, you think of the other usually.
Yeah,
right?
and everyone had those 2 albums, and you put on and say, oh man, this is really, really good music. And then you moved on because there were all these other things that were going on.
Yeah.
There is historically significant as a live band, so that, here's the value of the Dead with here. But if you could put in balance up against this incredible career and the tapes and the tapers and everyone who loved them, I think they learned to kind of love themselves.
Sure.
That they said, we're really good and we could do any music we choose to do. And
they did.
They did. They're back this album. So I'm really glad, in closing, I'm really glad for this Working Man's Dead 33 1/3 by Buzz Poole, because he'll, even if you're a hardcore Dead fan, you're going to find a very concise celebration of this album. The anniversary re-release of it is really good, especially if you want to do this all the time.
With that all day.
And the live 71 show in there really shows how this started to move out into the music.
I think they played most of these songs.
With
the exception of the Pigpen one, like well into their career.
It just stays with them.
Yeah.
So for the Dead box, I recommend this.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think it's a great one.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, if you don't like Working Man's
the cover
Dead,
too, I mean,
you
could do that all day, like you said.
but if you don't like this, if you don't like Working Man's Dead, you're never gonna like it. You're never gonna like the Grateful Dead. But it's a good place. It's a good place to go to, even if you're at the end of the line, to get back on that train and start again.
Hopefully without the cocaine.
Please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah.
It didn't help so much.
Cautionary tale.
Yeah, it didn't help so much. But for the Dead box, this is our Dead box pick, and we hope to see you again soon. I'm Chris.
And I'm Ryan. And this has been Dead Box. See y'all later.
Thanks so much.
All right, man. Bye.
so afraid. Mistakes I'm making. If heaven is above, why on earth you let us find true love? Play it back. Won't you play it back? Take a little more time. Make up your mind, down here patiently waiting. Heaven is above. Why on earth you let us feel true love? Play it back. Won't you play it back? Take a little more time.
The mighty power of wind is in the new amazing powerful air blaster by Whammo. Look out. What's that? Get ready. It's the electric gorilla target. The whole family has fun with the Whammo air blaster and electric gorilla target. The winner, hooray! It's exciting fun to play with the air blaster because it shoots a safe, invisible blast of air up to 40 feet. It will amaze your friends. You can have fun playing hundreds of games with your new Whammo air blaster. Just load it and fire a big blast of air. Quick now, draw, boys. Knock 'em down. Hit the electric gorilla and hear him growl. Get your air blaster today, complete with electric gorilla target by Whammo at toy, drug, and department stores.
We have sort of a cliche idea about what psychedelic means, and of course we first think about the drugs for which the term was coined, but then we think about the music, Grateful Dead, you know, we think about swirling amoeba lights, we think about Inagata Devita maybe, but psychedelic, the word literally means mind manifesting. or psyche manifesting. Thinking of it that way, all art is psychedelic. So what's different about psychedelic art, I would say basically, is maybe a level of weirdness, okay? Kind of a magical view of reality. We have a selection here of classically psychedelic art, actually music posters from the 1960s, but we also have a lot of other art that's just a little bit eerie, it's a little bit strange, it's a little bit challenging in different ways. You know, the psychedelic paradigm is typified by very powerful encounters with, we could say, archetypes or certain themes, matters of life and death, sex and desire, the recognition that we're interconnected. The different categories of art, if you will, that I'm calling psychedelic here, we've got themes of eroticism, we have sort of visual puns and humor, we have, you know, classically surreal, eerie sort of surreal images. We just have straight up weird stuff. And I think you put it all together, and my hope is that the viewer starts to have these themes kind of bouncing, pinging back, if you will, around the room, and you're seeing things in the various works that tie together or generate new thoughts. So this is a Tibetan thangka. Thangka is a religious painting. We might think of it as an icon, maybe in a different tradition. And there are themes that are explored in these thangkas, and they're used for meditation and teaching purposes. So this is The Wheel of Life. It's a contemporary thangka by a Tibetan artist who lives in Santa Fe. This is a work called Sunyata's Temple by Carlos Quinto Kim, a New Mexico artist. And what you see here is, well, number one, it's a depiction of a temple, what he's calling a temple, sort of an imaginary or fictional sacred space. So that's one aspect of the psychedelic experience that's pretty consistent throughout, is this kind of revelation of a spiritual underpinning to reality. This is a work by Horstowner Pierce. It actually predates what we might call, you know, the psychedelic era. It's from 1952, but to me, it's really eerily contemporary looking. This was done towards the end of his life, and he had been involved with the Transcendental Painting Group in New Mexico in the 1930s and 40s. And I think that capacity to see beyond these sort of strange differences and find harmony in the collision of weird things. That's a transcendental kind of quality, and that's very much a psychedelic sort of quality as well. I kind of think of this as the body group or the erotic group. So I think in Patrick's piece we get this real mix. It's kind of seedy, it's a little bit disturbing. So we get the kind of, I don't know, freaky side of being embodied in these bodies that we have and their impulses, which can really feel odd and a little bit alien sometimes. Here we really enter into the realm of dreams, and it has this very strange twist on the erotic impulse, where you have the artist, Anne Noggle herself, as a character here, sort of being waited upon by, you know, this hunky erotic icon male figure. So it's a really, really eerie and strange. So this side's kind of got the dark, and this side I think of as being more whimsical and kind of lighthearted. I've
been thinking a lot about our 2017 Resistance album, The Dangerous Land of Opportunity, with some really great songs like The Opportunity or Live a Lifetime, especially Grenade. This is a song that we teamed up again with Brad Lewis and Bill Barrett and Roy Darnell, and had Brad Vaughn on drums and Mike Egan on acoustic, and I was wailing away on some guitar, but it's a true bluesy effort with massive political intent, and a lot of my songs are more subtle. This one not so much, but it was a really fun one take song that lasted so long that we ended up with it returns. It comes back at the end of the album, and this is called Grenade Slight Return.
That was manic. I love that. We're done.
If I had a gun for every ace I have drawn, I could arm a town the size of Albany. Don't you push me, baby, 'cause I'm only low. Well, you know I'm only in it for the gold. All that I am asking is for 10 gold dollars, and I could pay about with one good hand. You can look around about the white walked over, and you'll never find another honest man. Last fair deal in the country, last fair deal in the town. Put your gold dollar you push me, baby, 'cause I'm moaning low. Well, I know a little something you might never know. Don't you touch hard liquor, just a cup of cold coffee. Gonna wake up in the morning and go. Now everybody's bragging and drinking that wine. I can tell the Queen of Diamonds by the way she shines. Come to Papa on an inside street. Well, I got no chance of losing your time. Well, I got no chance of losing this time. Well, I got no chance of losing this time. Thank you so much for coming out to see us tonight. This is Johnny Hickman on lead guitar, Sal Maida on bass guitar, Frank Finero on drums.
The ever-gracious Sal Maida, just one space over, is everything people have said today. He was always so complimentary about the dangers. And at Bradlowstock, when I joined Cracker playing keyboards on Forever, Sal and I locked into his bass groove, and I was able to feel the gravity of his talent. Such a musician and such a wonderful person. I am lucky, so lucky.